Hi everyone, I'm Chaitanya. I'm bringing you a series of videos in which I'll write and explain Python code to perform financial analysis using Python. As you know, the world is moving towards computational techniques. For analysis of problems, there's an ample amount of data outside, and we want that data to make better decisions. And finance is nowhere behind. There's an ever increasing trend in algorithmic trading and quantitative trading. So, I'll be uploading a series of videos where I'll be coding as well as explaining the logic behind the models which we'll be building together to move towards a more of a data driven approach in trading, or in short, you can say quantitative analysis of financial data to make better trading decisions. And we'll be doing all this stuff using Python. So, I'll not keep you waiting and introduce you to the first topic in which we'll be coding a Python script to plot the payoff curve for a call and a put option. So let's get started. I'll be using Jupyter Notebook as an ideally for Python. So basically, you could easily install it. You could search for you on YouTube or Google for installation tutorials. So I'll just begin writing the code. And first of all, we'll import the libraries, which will come handy later. So first, importing the libraries. Now I just need matplotlib, so I'll import it matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. As PLT means that I'll not have to just write every time matplotlib.pyplot. I could later refer as PLT. Like I would just write PLT, and the program will understand that okay, I'm referring to matplotlib.pyplot. Right. So I have it now. I'll be using current stock price of Nifty, that is spot price for Nifty, which is currently I'll just copy and paste it over here, which is 14018.5, which you can get, right? So now I'll be just setting up an array which contains the call option strike prices as well as premium. So array containing the strike prices as well as premiums of call options, right? So I'll be just copying the array. This is the following array. As you can see, the array is it's a list of items. It contains three lists in them, and the first list, as you can see, the first element of the list, that is 13950, is basically the strike price, and 341.8 is the corresponding call option premium. Similarly, 14,000 is the strike price, and 304.00 is the call option premium. So I have set up an array. You could easily set it up by checking the prices and the strike price, or you could automate it using an API, which would be the task later, which we would be doing later. First, let's start automating the manual stuff. So let's find the length of the array, which we would be using later. So I'll just run a for loop. What will I run the for loop for? The for loop will be for iterating over the array. For example, see, I have three pairs of strike prices and call option premiums. So there'll be one payoff curve for each one. So I want that first, for the first one I'll get the payoff curve, then for the second one, then for the third one. So for I in range L, that is my for loop will iterate from 0 to the last element of the array. So first I'll find the strike price. The strike price will be the array of I and 0. What does I mean? I means that current counter, which in the first iteration will be 0. So 0th element of the array will point me to 3950, 341.8, and now I want the strike price. So of this list, the 0th element will be the strike price. So I'll just store it in the strike price variable, and now I'll be finding the call option premium from the array, which is the array of I comma 1. As you can see, similarly, since the strike price was array of I 0, so it will be array of I and 1, because we want the second element. And in Python, the indexing starts from 0. Now we just need to find out the payoff plot. So it would be something like payoff plot of strike comma premium, and we need the current stock price. Why do we need the current spot price? Because we just want it to look good, to be informative, and for that I'll show you later. You can see it in the output that how will it look. So what we have done over here is we have I'll just comment it out. Strike price from array, premium from array, and the last one is call the payoff plot function. I'll be building a function which will be named as payoff plot function. Call the payoff plot function, which will take strike price, premium, and spot price as the input and would be plotting my payoff curve. So okay, this sounds good because we have we have done everything, right? We have the function. uh, we just need to build the function, else everything is done, right? So we'll just build the function. I'll add in a cell over here. You could add in a cell by clicking on the correct cell, current cell, and then click on the A button, which will add a cell above. If you click on the B button, it will add a cell to the below, right? So in the above cell, I'll just create a function def. In Python, if you want to define a function, the first keyword is def. Then you have to write the name of the function, which is payoff plot over here. I'll be taking strike price, premium, and s current spot price, which is s naught, as the input, right? So I have defined a function, and now I have an inner body. I'll just comment it out. What's the use of this function? Because later, if we want to use it, then we could easily be able to see it. So commenting is usually very important, right? So it's a function which plots the payoff curve for a call option. So I'll be creating two arrays. Why will I be creating that? I'll just explain you in a second. X equals to y equals to, and and also I'll be setting a for loop for I in range integer of s0 minus 600 comma integer of s0 plus 600 x dot append I. So now what's happening over here? The thing is, what we want is we want to create a plot out of it, right? Now there's something called a payoff for a call option, which is maximum of st minus k, which you could look it on the internet and you can study about the options. So it is maximum of st minus k, that is comma 0. That is, if the stock price at expiry is greater than the strike price, then we'll be getting a payment of st minus k. Then you can later adjust it with the premium. And if the strike price is smaller than strike price, then you won't exercise the option, and your payoff from the option itself will be 0, and you could deduct the premium from it to find the exact P&L for your trade, right? So what we want to do is, for every price, right, for every price, because we don't know the stock price at expiry, so what we want is we want to consider a situation. So in that situation, I'm just taking an interval of the current stock price minus 600 to current stock price plus 600. In that interval, I'll iterate over every price with a increment of 1. And what will that do is that will help me to set set the x-axis on my payoff plot. That is, get all the possible, in case possible, because let's say your option expiries of 30 days. So for the current scenario, for we are just taking a range of 600. You could take any range. So for that range, I'll get for every possible price, I'll just get the respective payoff. So I'll get my payoff, and every price is running as an in the iteration, that is I. So x dot append I, what it does is, see, I gives you the stock price at expiry. Now you want to store it somewhere, right? Because you want to plot it, and for plotting you just need an array, right? So you need to store it. For that, I've created an array of x which will store the stock price at expiry. I'll just comment it. It will store the stock price at expiry. And what will y do? Y will store the payoff. Store the payoff corresponding to every strike stock price at expiry, right? So I have founded out the X array. The loop would run from minus 600 plus S naught to S naught plus 600, and it will just store the possible prices in that array. So I just need to get the Y array, right? Before explaining that, first I'll explain you what I have done over here. Why have I written int S naught minus 600? So as you can see, S naught over here, it's a float, right? It's a decimal value. And in the for loop, you need to increment by price because you can't consider each and every possible price, right? Two decimal places, that won't be relevant because already we would be having too many prices and it would be continuous curve. So S naught equals to 14018.5 will take an int value of that, and that will round it off to the nearest integer, which is that will become 14018 in this case, and minus 600 to 14018 plus 600. So right now we just need to create an array in which we will be storing the payoff. So what we'll be doing is, see, we have two scenarios. Either at expiry the stock price is greater than the strike price, or it is smaller. If it is smaller, then our payoff is zero, or ideally zero, that is zero minus premium. So if I is less than equals to strike price, then y dot append minus premium. You would be getting only those values over here. Only those payoffs would be getting stored at the point for the cases when stock price at expiry will be smaller than strike price. So that will be minus of premium. Ideally it would be zero, but since you are paying a premium for that, so you won't be exercising the contract, hence you would be losing that money which you are paying for exercising the contract later. Otherwise, if the strike price is greater, stock price at expiry is greater than strike price, what you would be doing is you would be getting a payoff curve, right? So you would be getting maximum of st minus k comma 0. That will be stock price minus strike, and you'll be adjusting it with premium, and you'll be henceforth you'll be getting all the y values. So I'll just add comment over here for stock price at expiry less than strike price. For stock price at expiry, in our case it's an index, so you could talk about the index value rather than a stock price, but the nature is same, you could apply it anywhere. Is expiry is greater than strike price, right? So if using this if statement and running over the whole for loop, you'll be getting the y array. Now we have done all the calculations, but we don't want only calculations, right? Because that anybody else would be doing, right? If you are getting the stock price and you are knowing the strike price and the premium, you could easily calculate it by yourself. But what you want is you want something as an output which is more readable and which is more understandable. So you want a graph out of it. So we'll start making that. So our now we'll start using matplotlib for plotting it. Our first line will be plt.figure, which will help us to initiate the plotting process, and we'll be giving an argument of figure size equals to 16,6. What it will do is it will set a figure size for our plot initially to be 16,6, and then we'll write plt.plot x comma y. What plt.plot x comma y would do, it would plot a line plot with X array on X axis, that is stock price at expiry, possible stock price at expiry, and on the Y axis it will have the corresponding payoff, right? Okay, we are going to good. So you could see right from here, if you would run this, uh, something's happening currently through the pipeline interface. Getting nothing explicitly close and this one. Okay, think we are doing something wrong. PLT, yeah. So it won't be inside the for loop. Obviously, it will be outside the for loop because what you don't want kernel interrupt. So you don't want your for loop to be plotting a figure for each iteration, right? You just want it to be plotting it for the final array. So this could be the mistake. This usually happens. You should keep care of what elements will be outside the loop and what will be inside the loop. So you could see you are getting the payoff curve, but it's not really intuitive and you can't basically understand anything. It's like something kind of a wedge or a inclined plane. It's not really understandable, so we would just want to make it more readable. So we'll be adding more features to our plot so that it could be more readable. So we'll be adding a horizontal line at 0, which will be which could help us to see the break even point using plt.xh line. What xh line does is it plots a horizontal line. So you could see the output. It's a horizontal line passing through 0, right? So okay, we have plotted the horizontal line, and what we want to do is right now is we want to plot the premium line. That is what's our premium on. So plot premium on the curve. So you want to add a code for that. That is, you again want to draw a horizontal line, which is this blue line, connecting to the y-axis and respective label for that. So that the x coordinate for that would be minus, the y coordinate for that would be minus premium, and we'll be using a line style of dashed. Color is blue and respective LW equals to. You could better refer to the matplotlib documentation for using more arguments. I'm using this because this may work well for me. See, you could see that there's a dotted line appended over here, which would ideally show that where is it meeting, but we can't see the price directly from here, right? It's not showing. It would be minus 319, 320, anything. So we want it to be written over there. For that, we'll be using plt.text, plt.text, and we'll be assigning a x coordinate to that. What would be the x coordinate? We could assign any value for here, for example, I'll assign s not to avoid any collision or overlapping of text. I'll just assign this value. You could create it by yourself, and the y coordinate would be minus premium. Why? Because that's the exact coordinate you could see from the dotted line over here, or from your own intuition too. And what is the value you want to be written over there? That should be minus premium on the y-axis. It should be written. I'll be using font size of 11. Vertical alignment equals to bottom. Color equals to blue again. Why? Because that dotted line is blue, and keeping the same color code is really helpful rather than just changing it again and again. You can see 341.8, 30, and see it's more intuitive right now. You can check the premium, but still we are missing on some parts. Like we don't know the break-even point. Where is the strike price just by looking the graph? Where is the what's the current payoff by checking the current spot price? We need to add those things, right? So I'll start from adding the break-even point. Break even point is basically the point at which you are at zero PNL, basically zero profit, zero loss. XV line, we are drawing a vertical line, dotted vertical line like this. So we need a plt.xv line. The y x coordinate for that would be strike plus premium. Why is that so? Because you see maximum of st minus k comma 0 is the payoff. You need to adjust premium. We'll talk about that later. So when will this be zero? Your profit, you want it to be zero. So this will be zero when strike price is equals to k, right? Because if you consider any price less than k, any stock price at expiry less than strike price, then at that value you'll be paying a premium that will be minus premium. So the payoff will be stock price minus strike price minus premium. So at strike price plus premium would be at the break even point, strike price plus premium. Now I'll be using line style of dashed. Color equals to red, or we could use our line width equals to 1, and I'll be assigning a text to that, because just drawing the line, as you can see, is not really helpful because you are getting a red dotted line but you want a label attached to it. So you'll be using plt.text. strike plus premium comma 200. You'd be I'm just, since the, as you can see, the x coordinate is strike comma premium, I am using the y coordinate as 200 to avoid any collision or possible overlap, right? So I won't be repeating that again why I'm choosing the respective coordinate. You would be choosing it on your own or on your preference. It's as per you to make the graph look good later when you refer to it. Font size is 11. Vertical alignment is top. Color equals to red. Why red? Because we want to make the same color. For now, for the strike price, similarly for the strike price, I want vertical line to be written, displayed over there with the y x coordinate as strike, and cell is dashed because y, because that's the exact value, right? At that point, color equals to red. I just want both two lines to be of the same color. Now I'll be just assigning a text to that text label so that I could read it later. So I won't be just running each and every line right now. We'll just write the code, and at certain moments, after some milestones, we'll be plotting it to see how does it look. Horizontal alignment equals to right, comma, color equals to red. Now spot price, because you want the current spot price, you want to check what's the current profit and loss, where are you standing. So you want S naught. Why? Because S naught is the current spot price. Line style equals to dashed. You could also add alpha to it, adding transparency to the line so that they are not much visible, but well, that depends on you. It's your creativity how much you could style it, but we basically want something readable rather than it to look good, because while making a trade you don't want something fancy so that you can't read it. So, and these all are repetitive, so I'm not explaining why I'm taking again the coordinates which I told you that you could work, play with it and check that what works for you, or you could understand the working. I hope you would check the documentation. Now I have shown it. I'll just run the code. See, these are the values displayed over here. You're seeing the values, and it looks fairly good. But still, we need certain points. For example, uh, what's the current payoff? Like, see this green line over here. The green line shows the current spot price, and the corresponding payoff will be this. See my arrow running over here. So we want our payoff to be displayed in number as well as told to us. So we want to make something for that. Moreover, it's a good practice to label your x and y axis. You would be learning that in school too, because that's very important. Because if after 6 months you are seeing this, so again you need to go through the code and check that, okay, what are my coordinates axis. So you need to check for that, and I'll be adding data.x label for that, which besides the x label. That is, you need to add the string over here. Why? Because it's the argument needs to be of the format of string, of the data type string, spot price at expiry, and y label as the PNL. You could write it as a payoff. I'm using PNL. Now the certain condition. See, uh, if the spot price at expiry is greater than the strike price, what would be happening? We would be getting some payoff, right? We would be getting, already we have prepaid premium, so we are at a loss of premium, and now we would be going towards a profit. So we would be getting minus premium plus something. So we'll work with that. But if we are before, if the spot price at expiry is below strike price, so our value of the contract or our profit at expiry would be minus premium itself, because since we are rational enough, human beings are considered so we won't be exercising the contract and making a loss just for the sake of it. Because if you are having already a loss of minus 300, why would you sign a deal to which is confirmed to give you a loss of minus 600? So uh, you would, so I would create a if statement for that, for checking that if my current if my stock current spot price is greater than strike or not. If it is, I'll draw a horizontal line which will show me the profit, which is stock price minus strike price adjusted with premium. Line style equals to dashed, color equals to purple, line width equals to 1, plt dot text, we will be adding a text to that, integer of s0 plus 400, this is the coordinate, comma s0 minus strike minus premium is the y coordinate, and we need to add the label. For label, we won't be just posting this value, that is stock price minus strike minus premium, because that would be a floating digit number which would give us some garbage, but we just need 2-digit precision. So stock price minus strike, so we are using a round function available in Python, and we'll round it to the 2 digits, right? So color equals to purple, font size equals to 10. We also this is an important thing, I'll be showing it later. We would need to add something over here, or otherwise what you want is, you just want it to be minus premium. Minus premium is already being displayed, as you can see, minus 341.8, so it's pretty understandable. Sorry. And now what you want to do is, you need to add the title to the graph, right? See, I know that we'll be just seeing the graph and understanding the notation, but there are certain things for efficient work, efficacy of the plans, we just want it to work right. So we just need the strike price. Ideally we just need to see it, we just don't want to get to search for it. Also we just want the current PNL for taking our positions. So we need it to be displayed somewhere. For that we'll be displaying it in the title. Now for the title, uh, you could just write the payoff curve, and you would be setting the premium, right? You could add the strike price, or you could tell the premium. But the thing is, for the current PNL, there's an issue. The issue is, what if your stock price is less than the strike price? Then your premium is constant, that is, then your PNL is constant, that is minus premium. But if it is greater than strike price, then it is stock price minus strike price minus premium, right? So we need to keep care for that. For that you need another if else statement. What why go we need to go for so? Because we already have a if statement with the same condition, right? So we can just add a line over here, plt dot title, and in this we can write payoff curve for call option, and strike price equals to curly brackets. Why so? Because you want to store your value over there, which is not a string. You want to input it from somewhere, so you want to, and you input it. So you're using dot format for this, and you're using strike, which would be going to the first bracket, that is strike price. And for the current PNL, if in this condition s not is greater than strike, so you are already having a payoff for this, which is stock price minus strike price minus premium, and you don't want it to be a garbage, so we'll round it off 2 digits, stock price minus strike minus premium, comma 2 at 2 places. And in other case, your title remains same, because your payoff would remain same despite the spot price, because uh, no, your payoff would change, but your strike price would remain same despite the payoff, because that's the options property, so that would remain same, but the current PNL would change. Why would it change? Because we have already defined that since stock price at expiry is less than the value, round minus premium. So here our payoff is minus premium, comma 2. So minus premium, comma 2, we are rounding it. Also we are using plt dot type layer. This is for just so that these graphs for all the array values which you could see, we have iterated over it, right? Over 3 elements, 1, 2 and 3. So we just don't want them to overlap. For better visuals, we just want it to be displayed. As you can see, it's very displayed. You can see, I'll just choose one of the graphs. For example, let's take this one graph. The PNL is on the y-axis, the spot price at expiry is on the x-axis. You can easily see that this is minus 273.3, the current PNL. It's displayed over 13950 is the strike price, 14291.8 is the break even point, and 14018.5 is the spot price. Also minus 341.8 is the premium which you have paid. So you could easily now imagine what you now what's the benefit for this. Imagine if you would be doing this manually, you would be crunching some numbers and you would be getting the value. If you're plotting it, that would be very difficult, because if I'll say that hundreds or 20 hundreds of option contracts, so you won't be just manually plotting it. Obviously computer is very fast. Otherwise, if someone would say, okay, I don't need to plot it, I just need to check the my PNL and the break even point, okay, you may check it, you may get the values, but even for 100 values, even that won't work, right? Also here, it's so good seeing the graph and you could easily get those values, and computer is doing all the calculations for you. So I guess this is pretty good doing this, because that will really help us for analyzing the contracts. And you could easily link it to your following brokers API, which we could see it later. Or you could manually, you could web scrape the prices, or you could perform something, or you could manually enter it if you're doing a day trade, or your frequency of trading is of 1 hour or something. So you could easily plug in the prices, check the payoff curve, and move forward. So that's all for this video. And in the next video, we'll be plotting the payoff curve for a put option. It's pretty easy. We just have to modify few lines and we'll be implementing it. You could do it as a homework, but I'll demonstrate it in the next video. Also, we'll be plotting the payoff curve for a bull spread. We'll do something really interesting with that. We'll optimize on that payoff curve and get the best payoff as per the risk to reward is concerned. So stay tuned. Please like, share and subscribe my channel, and also press the bell icon to get the future updates.